Almost every single game that Sweet Baby Ink touches turns to trash, and honestly, I do not care. If these development studios want to work with a company that wants to tear the industry down instead of raise it up, I'm not going to defend them. And now we're finding out that Reflector, the makers of the SBI game Unknown Nine Awakening, have canceled all of their future projects and have reported that this game was a major failure. Before I get into the topic, though, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I did a full live stream playthrough of Unknown Nine Awakening, and I absolutely hated it. I thought it was an extremely low quality game with a really terrible story, cringeworthy dialogue, like treating Haruna, the lead character, as a girl boss all the time, strong, independent, doesn't need anybody else. It is primarily female characters, and all of the strong characters within this game are females. The gameplay was really mediocre. There were a lot of bugs and glitches, and every 5 steps that you take, you end up facing a gate or a door that you have to open as a hidden load screen. But when every single area is that way, it is very easy to point it out. And I just felt all around that this was a game that needed to either be developed for like 3 more years, because it really did seem like it was in an alpha state, or they could have just straight up canceled it. I always say that games like Dustborn and Concord and Kill the Justice League deserve to exist, but that does not mean they deserve our money. These devs can create whatever they want, and in this case, they certainly went out of their way to make a truly terrible experience, and now they're facing the consequences of their own actions, and we are finding out that this studio is going under. Now, just a couple of months ago, we did hear that they were going through some pretty major layoffs, and now we're finding out that this studio is probably not even going to exist in a couple of months. And keep in mind, Bandai Namco went out of their way to buy Reflector, just like Sony did with Firewalk Studios and Concord. They really thought that this was going to be a smashing success. They thought that this was going to be a mega hit game, a brand new big IP, and they had books that were supposed to be tie-ins, and it seemed that there were initially plans for a sequel, and it should have been a success given the fact that they got over $100 million to develop this game, at least according to reports. Take it with a grain of salt, but they also have the lead actress Anya Carlotta, who played Yennefer in the Witcher series in this game. So they really were banking on it being a success, because I do not think that she was cheap. But, well, things aren't looking so good for them. So their announcement is actually pretty long. It says, "Today, I informed our teams that I made the decision to not greenlight further work on a future project that was in conceptualization phases, and thus terminating this development line. Continuing this project would not have been sustainable for the future of the studio. Regrettably, this also means that there will be redundancies following this decision." I bet that they're going to have to lay off like 95% of their staff, and they're only going to keep a couple of people around to maybe do a few more updates. I don't know if they had like any major projects in the works besides the sequel to this, but that's clearly canceled. It says, though, this decision correlates directly with the failure of the studio's ambitious and courageous first project. Oh yeah, guys, Unknown Nine Awakening was a stunning and brave game. They were truly courageous to have to go to work every day to create a video game that they probably could have made a boatload on if they did a little bit of a better job. Very stunning. It was supposed to be a new IP with rich transmedia universe. The performance of the release didn't come near the company expectations after numerous timeline adjustments and investments, both financially and other, and didn't warrant any further exploration in this universe. Yeah, because the universe fucking sucked. You guys did not create a good experience. So what do you expect people to do? Just swipe their credit cards on a pile of trash? Clearly, nobody even thought that this looked good. The big modern audience that showed up to support this game was 285. I'm one of them because I live streamed it, but this is why I live stream games like this. When I stream this, I believe the highest peak I had throughout that time was like 900 viewers. So we quadrupled the number for this, and we don't know console numbers, so I can't really be sure, but at least judging by Steam, we blew their number out of the park. But if I'm buying one copy, that could mean out of that number, let's say 850 people did not buy this game. That is costing these companies a lot of money. And when a game is good and I'm live streaming it and playing it and showing it off, you guys might say, oh my God, that looks amazing. I am going to go and buy it. And then we're giving good developers money. So that's why I think it's so important for me to stream these games. I love video games. I love testing new video games. I love highlighting video games. But I also feel it is very important as a content creator to be live streaming them whenever I possibly can. That's why I stream so many games on this channel. I say this about journos all the time. I do not think journos should be writing articles and reviews if they have not played the game or proven that they have played the game. There are a lot of journalists out there who are Dean Takahashi Cuphead situations. They can't actually play the game, so they're judging based off of early access footage, and maybe they've got a little bit of a group chat going where they talk about the narratives they're going to push with certain titles. Like with this game, they all said that it was an underrated, underappreciated game that everybody should at least give a chance. And well, the journos got them a whopping 285 members of the modern audience. So that wasn't really enough to keep this studio going. And because we know that Kim Belair was a story architect on this game, there really is no doubt about the fact that these individuals are not good at being creatives. That's what they want to be. They thought that they could come into this industry, make a boatload of money, just telling developers what they should or shouldn't have in their games, bossing them around, and then basically saying, oh, I can do it better, but clearly you can't do it better because you were a story architect and you came up with a complete pile of trash that nobody liked and nobody played. And now gamers are pointing and laughing, saying, good riddance. Friendly reminder, Bandai Namco is hard in the sauce of DEI, and due to their UK location will not be pulling out of it anytime soon. This is 100% true. I talk about Capcom a lot. I talk about Ubisoft a lot, but I don't talk a lot about Bandai Namco because they really are too far gone at this point. I do not see a way that they would change their minds anytime soon. When remasters come out, they are telling developers seemingly to alter content, remove things like gender, put in body types A and B. We have games like this, which are really just supposed to be DEI products. They do not have any good substance. And it is sad because I want every game to come out and I want it to be amazing. I want every game to have an audience, even if I'm not part of that audience. Even again, with titles like Concord and Dustborn, I am not the target audience. I still played it to give it a shot because I talked about it on this channel, but it's okay to make products that are not for everyone. But on the flip side, you should also be making products that are at least for some people, and that's not even what studios are doing anymore, which is why I can't help but point and laugh because they're so out of touch with every group of gamer out there. The podcast audio story set in modern day with a couple of paranormal investigators was pretty darn good. Shame they had to poison the well by hiring SBI for their video game. They are also saying they will be laying people off in that statement. There will be redundancies. Yeah, I don't think that there's going to be many people, if really anybody, left. Trade offer, I receive. Game without woke shit. You receive my money. It's just that simple. Make good games, make money. I don't know why so many studios now don't understand that. I do think that it is just them really chasing those DEI dollars. I talk about the Bob Iger effect quite a bit. I don't know if that's the case here, but there are certain people within every industry, whether it's Hollywood or video games, that believe one day the message will pay off. One day it will be worth it. So even if they're not making money right now, when that woke turn happens and people want this progressive content, they will have libraries upon libraries, dozens of shows and movies and video games, pieces of content for people to consume. But that shift is never going to happen because they're just such bad pieces of content, which is why so many gamers are going to their backlogs instead of buying new games because the modern audience doesn't exist. And when you create a game for the modern audience, you are going to lose the average gamer's dollar. So I will be keeping my eye on this situation. I don't think that they're going to make any other statements. It just seems that Reflector is going to fade away. It's going to die. Bandai's probably going to shut it down. Maybe keep a few of the developers for other projects and other studios. I don't even know if that is going to happen though. But this is what happens when you have diversity and inclusion committees instead of hiring genuinely passionate and talented developers. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.